So this is the program for the exercise on firms' investment. So the structure of this program is very similar to the previous model. There are a few parameters, including new parameters, including the initial value of total investment, INV0, but also capital expenditure by firms, CK0, and also technical parameters like alpha K, underscore K. So the social accounting matrix, there is a new column which is called INV, and it provides information on companies' capital expenditure in good I, in agriculture, in industry, and in services. And in total, the total investment is initially 950. Only the capital expenditure of companies is in each sector is entered as data, as new data. So this is this line. CK0I is equal to the informations coming from the table MCS. In fact, the total initial investment is after that calibrated, because INV0 is equal to sum over I of P0I times CK0I. And after that, it's very easy to calibrate alpha underscore K in sector I, which is a Cobb-Douglas parameter. In the model, there are some changes because on the one hand, there is an equations for the determinations of capital, of more exactly capital expenditures of company in each sector. It follows a Cobb-Douglas, that is to say the value share of each sector is constant. Then in the equilibrium equations of the good markets, you understand that there is a new demand, which is CK on I, and the macroeconomic equilibrium is changed because right now it is savings minus investments plus public sold is equal to 0. So the Léon is added to this equation. I could have added on the labor market equation, but here I did it on the macroeconomic equilibrium. Just to note that, in fact, savings is determined in the block income, so by this equation, and public sold is in fact constant. So this is the public closure. And so it means that the first equations of the block government determines the level of budge underscore X, but that is to say total public expenses. And so it means that the macroeconomic equilibrium determines the level of investment in the economy. So the public closure is to keep the public sold constant. We could have chosen a different closure. So for example, total public expenses constant. And then the shock that I'm studying here is a decrease of indirect taxation rates by 10%. So if I press run, in the process window, you see that the first solve has an initial infeasibility which is very close to 0. And then if I double click on the left side of this, I saw that the model statistics, we have now 53 equations and 53 variables. And if you look at the results, you see that the reductions in indirect taxes reduces public revenues. Since we have to keep the public sold constant, total public spending falls. So it has a recessive effect on productions. But on the other hand, the fall in consumer prices imply recovery in private consumption. You see that there is an increase in private consumption of in each sector of more than 1%. And overall, the impact on income is positive. So on national income, it is 1.4%.